Hi, I'm Thomas.
And I'm Sheena, and we're chasing a plate. It's lunchtime and we're in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and we're off to try a new dish for us, kari kepala ikan, or fish head curry, Malaysian Indian style. We're starving, let's eat. We're starting at the curry fish head station. So there's this huge vat of fish head curries. They're gigantic. So the guy just grabbed one fish head and he's popped it in the hot boiling curry, which has got eggplants as well as lady fingers, just to heat it up. We have ordered a feast. So we've got this gigantic fish head curry, and thank God it's not just Thomas and I eating. We're here with our friends Ida and Amri because there is no way we could finish it all. But aside from the fish head curry, there's also a whole spread of other dishes that you can order. So we've been told that their mutton curry is worth eating, so we've got that as well. We've got some dal on the side, we've got some achar, which is some vegetables, and then we've got some plates of white rice as well as some biryani to try, and then there's some crab gravy to pour all over our rice. The crab's actually all gone, but we're trying the gravy because apparently that is really good. I've loaded up my plate. I still can't get over how big that fish head was, and it was the smallest of the bunch. So I've got the fish head, a bit of the fish head here. It's a red snapper. I've got some ladyfinger or okra, and then there's some tofu puffs which have soaked up all that curry sauce, and then I've also got a little bit of that achar here, which is a cucumber pickle. So there's cucumber, there's green chilli, there's a red onion, and hopefully that will just cut through some of that spice with the vinegaryness. Let's just give this fish head a go. I'm just going to get right in, have a piece of that fish and the rice. That fish is so moist. That spicy curry sauce that it's in, it's really a little bit sweet, a little bit sour, quite spicy. It's just got a real depth of flavour. I've got to try this tofu puff because it's just calling out my name. It's spicy. It just exploded in my mouth because it had soaked up all of the curry sauce, and as I bit into it, it just went boom. That was really tasty. Let's give some of this achar a go. I've never had this before. I've loaded it up with cucumber and a little bit of rice. That is so fresh. It's very vinegary, very spicy. Actually a lot spicier than the gravy in the fish head curry. But it's a really fresh spice. And that sour tang of the cucumber just cuts through any heaviness in the mouth from the curry sauces. That's a brilliant side dish.
I'm going to start off with a mutton curry. So I've loaded it onto my rice. It's just standard white rice. And now the mutton is very meaty. So what it was in the curry itself up the front, it was a huge piece. But what they've done is chop it into lots of little pieces for us, so it's much easier to eat in the dish. And the sauce is very thick on it. So I have a big piece of the mutton, which looks pretty easy to rip apart. You can just see that there, it's just falling apart. It's a bit pink inside. I've got a carrot, I've got half a potato, and then some of that thick sauce. But because the sauce is so thick, I think I need to sort of wetten this up a bit more. So I've got this gravy from the crab curry here, which is a little bit runnier. It's got onions, curry leaves, all sorts in it. So I'm just going to dump some of that on the side just to really get that rice really wet. Right, let's just go with some of this mutton and the rice. Now I don't have any of that crab curry gravy. This is just the mutton gravy. Oh, wow, the meat is amazing. I really like that because I think because it's been cooked in a big piece, it isn't like all just curry flavour. It tastes like meat, so it's got beautiful mutton flavour, and I really like that in a curry. I much prefer it when you can taste the ingredients. They're not just overtaken with the sauce. Speaking of the sauce, I'm just going to grab some, eat it by itself. Wow, it's so bold in flavors. There's big pieces of cinnamon in there, and that type of flavor is what's really coming out. You've got this really sort of floral liveliness to it. And then the curry, it's spicy, but I have had a little bit of the sauce from the fish head, and that was definitely way spicier than this one. Let's try it with a bit of carrot. Wow, that's beautiful. It's holding its shape and holding some texture, even though it's really soft. And now, let's try it. I've got a little bit of mutton, I've got a curry leaf, I've got some rice, and I've got some of that crab gravy from the crab curry. Oh my god. The crab one has got a real sweetness to it. It's very fiery. They go together like a match made in heaven. What a combination. I'm just diving in. I'm gonna have some more. Oh, so much like clove and that cinnamon taste in that mouthful. This is unreal, and that had a little bit of fat from the mutton. So that just burst in my mouth. That is incredible.
I've got 2 plates on the go. I've got my first plate, which has just been loaded up with the fish curry, the mutton, the dal, everything. And then we've also flooded the rice with the different curries. So guys, what's that called? Banja? Banja, which means to flood your rice with the different curry sauces. But the second plate is the one with the biryani, and I'm going to give that a go. The rice is really loose. It's got red onion or shallots through it. There's cinnamon, there's cardamom pods, and then I'm going to try it with that mutton. The rice is just so fragrant. It's really beautiful. If I had to pick between white rice and biryani though, with this type of spread, I'd probably go for white rice so that I could really get all those curry sauce flavors.
Like Sheena just talked about with the rice being flooded with the sauce, mine is exactly the same. So it's just becoming an absolute mess of different sauces, different proteins. Look at everything going on. I'm going to try some of the fish head. So I've got a big chunk of the fish there. You can see how meaty it looks. Let's just get we've got a red onion. So there were some fresh red onions on the top of the fish when it first came out. So I've got one of those to try and freshen that up a bit. Oh. The fish is so meaty. It's got a lot of texture when you bite through it. It's not squishy. That onion was really good. Added some crunch. Now this meal is very spicy. I think by far the spiciest thing we've had in Malaysia yet. So these lime drinks are going down really well. And the poppadoms, we've got some just plain poppadoms which are helping sort of cleanse the mouth because it's so spicy. Let's just try a big chunk of that rice. Oh, I think that piece had a lot of the crab gravy on it, but then a real kick of spice. This is just a treat. Like every mouthful seems to get better because it's just got that little bit more. Whoa, there it is. This is great. This is so fun when a meal's this spicy. But as I was saying, everything's just getting mixed more and more together the more we eat. So the flavor's changing. Every mouthful we're getting more flavor, more punchiness, just unreal. It's so good. Wow, that meal was good, and that is how spicy it was. We needed a lot of drinks. Holy moly, what a meal. That was awesome. I think, like we talked about, flooding that rice with all those sauces, incredible. The flavor combinations, to die for. So good, so spicy. My lips are tingling still, but everything else is calming down. So it was spicy at the time, but it's not that lingering.
Thank you so much to our subscribers who recommended we try kari, kepala, ikan. It was a stellar recommendation. And if you have any more suggestions as to what other types of Indian, Malaysian meals we should be eating, let us know in the comments below. And whilst you're down there, hit subscribe for more food and travel adventures.
And thumbs up.
And give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. We hope we inspired you to eat and explore like a traveller, not a tourist. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Jumpa lagi!
Jumpa lagi!